All right. Hello. Awesome Games Done Quick 2025. My name is bramhallthefifth. We're playing Eyes today.
You know that kills me. hello, everybody.
All right. Who are my two commentators back here?
Hi, I'm King J0444. I still don't know how to pronounce East, but
You did it, right?
I did it. Let's go. I've actually never ran this game, but it's one of my favorite games ever. So I'm really excited to be here and see the speedrun for the first time. So yeah.
And I'm GhostKumo. I'm one of the admins of the eSpeedrun community, so I kind of had to show up for this. I'm really excited. This is my personal favorite game in the series, so you're about to see it get utterly destroyed.
Oh yeah.
All right. Before we start, what's our voice language?
All right, the folks have donated, the people have spoken, and you will be playing in Japanese.
All right.
You're gonna hear a lot of You're gonna hear.
Okay. Before I start, I'm just gonna explain what the category is real quick. This is all story bosses, so we're going to be beating every boss in the game, but just the required ones. So I won't keep everyone waiting too long. We'll count down in 3, 2, 1, begin.
So here we start off on a boat, which means if you're familiar with the East series lore, you know that things are going to go pear-shaped very quickly.
You can't go on a boat and then not have something happen to it.
Except in East 10, apparently. So welcome to East 8, approximately the 7th game in the chronology, because they're told out of order. This is after the events of 10, 4, and 5, and 3, but before the events of 6, 8, and 9, or 6, 7, and 9. Anyways, this is our good friend Dogi. They made him jacked and handsome in this game. We're just kind of going around the ship talking to a bunch of characters who will be major players in the game.
This is easily the most difficult part of the run.
It is actually, since this is like 15% of any percent, it actually is surprisingly difficult.
Just the hallways are cramped. Adol's movement is slightly different from the rest of the game, so it's just, I bonk a lot and it makes me reset. But we made it to the door. We're about to start our first boss fight. This is the Tentacle of the Unknown. He's kind of got a first phaser. You'll notice in the bottom left, there is a red health bar and a blue stun bar. While he's teaching me how to dodge, he actually does not take HP damage, but he does take stun damage. So I'm going to kind of fill that up a little bit halfway before the next phase starts. If you notice my perfect block and attack, it gives me about 3 seconds of invincibility, and all my hits become crits. I don't have to do it in this fight, but I don't really have a better place to explain flashcards, so I just did it right there, demonstrated it for all to see. It'll be a little important in some of the run coming up.
Yeah, so there are two mechanics. There's flash guard, which you can perfectly time a guard. You get a few frames or a few seconds of invincibility, and mini crits where you do like additional 15% damage. And there's also flash move, which slightly slows down time and gives you a couple of other benefits.
All right.
Anyways,
that's the first boss.
And there we go.
He kind of just, on easy mode, he kind of doesn't really do anything. You just mash until you win.
A preemptive apology. There's a lot to explain early game, so we are going to be talking over Sunshine Coastline, which is one of the best themes in probably this entire series.
Oh, yeah.
Which is saying something when it's, you know, Nihon Falcom in the mid-2010s.
Yeah, so this movement is called attack roll canceling. Basically, I use the dodge roll, and then I cancel that with the attack button, and then I immediately roll out of the attack, so you're just alternately canceling attack and a roll, and it makes you move pretty fast. It's kind of an FPS gated trick. It's not as fast if you're running at 60 or something, but this game runs at 200, so it's quite quick. And already we're on to our first recruitable party member. This is Laxia von Roswell. She does pierce damage. That's, I guess, important. For the majority of this run, there's 3 damage types, slash, strike, and pierce. For the majority of this run, we're only going to have access to slash, so it's not really that relevant, but...
Yeah, some enemies are weak to and resistant to it too, but most bosses don't. You don't have to deal with that too much. Anyways, this is our protagonist, Adol Kristen, silent protagonist and adventurer extraordinaire. He has crash landed on the island of Saren.
I believe this is Adol's main stage debut, actually.
Yes, it is, because the last time East was in was East Origin, which Adol is only like a cameo and side stuff that was not on the stream.
Okay, so there's a room coming up. They want me to pick up 3 items in here. I need the sword because it'll prevent a soft lock later, but other than that, I can, the loading zone for this room, which is ordinarily protected by a turn back trigger, it says like that. I just missed the trick, but it's kind of just sticking out of the wall, so I can try to hit it like this with my weapon.
Nice.
Yeah, and we're headed on to the next boss coming up. Do you want to explain the main boss killing mechanic, Ghost?
Yes. So coming up here, we're going to be demonstrating something we just call damage glitch. If you repeatedly spam a skill over and over, eventually it just starts doing this weird thing that it's kind of hard to really explain, and we don't fully understand it, but he's basically stacking like ridiculous numbers of damage onto the boss. So you see like there are far more numbers than should be showing up. I believe it's a frame rate tied thing, but like if you just spam a skill, you're able to just hit them with like way more ticks of damage than you should be able to.
We don't fully understand how it works, but we do know some consistent ways to do it, so, and that's really all we need. The very first skill that Laxia comes with, Dagger Fling, is one of the ways that you can just very easily insta-kill bosses.
Yeah, and this is a part of why. So we're running this on the easiest difficulty, and if you were to play it on a higher difficulty, ultimately damage glitch would still be applicable and just shred through bosses. So this becomes a bit less of a combat-oriented run, although there is still meaningful, skill expression in combat. But it's mainly like, movement and tricks and whatnot. This is a game, because we had an any % incentive, that can be done in about... There you go. There you see damage glitch just absolutely shredding. Well, we call this boss Avocado because we don't like to say his full name.
Shout out to the After 5 for the nickname. So yeah, we just picked up a new character called Sahad. What you saw there was a demonstration of me using triggering damage glitch and then carrying it into a stronger ability to kill the boss faster. Also, you're supposed to go back to town and pick up another cat and go find another castaway and come at this forest from a different direction. But I was just able to get up that wall by spamming switch and jump.
Yeah, switching has some kind of peculiar properties depending on other inputs that you do around it, and these allow you to preserve vertical momentum and whatnot.
It also comes with the most showcase of what your donations went towards when you picked the language, because they're gonna yell a bunch of things in Japanese now.
Yes, the voice lines you will probably get at least somewhat sick of.
Okay, so that's a void out glitch. Basically, if you go out of bounds or you fall off a ledge or something, it'll teleport you to the last place before you jumped. But sometimes that can just happen by accident anywhere. So that's might happen a few more times. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to town to do some story triggers that are kind of necessary to again prevent soft locks. So, gonna go fishing.
The best part. That's how you know we're doing an RPG speed run.
There's fishing.
All right, see what I catch this time.
Let's get some applause for fishing.
Let's go.
So riveting.
This is what speedrunning is all about.
We actually have had a fishing game in GDQ before. It was great.
That is true. I do remember that.
So I came back here now because there was a cutscene in the forest that I triggered, and it actually activated a warp point that was slightly up ahead. So if I warp back to town, it saves a little bit of travel time. So I'm doing some resource checks here. Did I talk to Kiergaard? I hope I did.
Yeah,
No, I just did. Okay.
Something worth noting, Laxia has the fastest jump roll, whereas Adel has the fastest attack roll cancel, so sometimes you'll see him switching between the two for slightly faster movement bits.
All right, so here's the boss upcoming. This is actually gonna be the last boss that I fight for a while, because there's actually a lot of setup that goes into this category. The whole game kind of goes sideways after this forest dungeon. But anyway, more of the same.
That damage glitch is actually crazy.
Yeah, I hit his tail to make him die a little bit faster because of his weak point.
Just seeing all the numbers explode on the screen.
Well, I'm about to pick up an item that's going to make it even better. So I just equipped an item that lets me climb vines. Get rid of these guys so they don't bother me too much. Not the Metroid jingle, by the way.
Shoutouts to Yuzo Koshiro.
We're gonna shout out a lot, but all the music in this game is just so good.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah, this is kind of a tricky one. Got him. Okay, cool.
Hell yeah.
All right. Here's another influential trick. So basically, when you jump and you attack, your character does this, and if you attack while you're falling, your character does this. During that jump slash animation, there's a couple windows of time where your character rises in the air. And if you actually switch characters and attack at the same time during those windows, you can trick the game to thinking you jumped again, and it'll reset your jump slash combo.
Yeah, so this allows him to scale heights basically infinitely as long as he keeps it up.
And it looks like this. Oh. Okay, cool.
Nice.
So the game wants me to go back to town right now and do a raid, which we can talk about raids when they come up. But if I just jump over the turnback trigger, I can carry on with the dungeon like that. Sahad moves a little bit faster in water, so I switch to him real quick. And upcoming is the Clarion fight. Now this is where the run changes a bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to I'm going to trigger damage glitch on him. This boss has 3 phases. I'm going to try to push him to the second phase where he tries to push me off the log. And then I'm going to try to get behind him. All right, he's stunned now, so I got to wait. I didn't mean to do that, but... Wake up. Yeah, so before the second phase starts, they put an invisible wall up on the side of these logs. All right, so Ghost, why am I leaving the boss arena?
Okay, so in Ys games since like Ys 7, when you leave a boss arena, what you're effectively doing is storing a boss flag, which means that you can use this to like trigger things like bosses at points when you otherwise like wouldn't be able to. So if you make like a sequence break in this game, bosses don't tend to load later. So he needs to have like a boss trigger effectively stored. So he's going to come back to this fight, I think, a couple of times.
Yeah. Also, the trigger to trigger the second phase extends across the entire map, so I had to try to avoid that. Basically, if you spam roll and switch in midair, you can kind of extend your air distance.
And this is Kathleen, going to be used to upgrade weapons and stuff like that. I don't know how much we use it, but...
I'm using it right now because it won't let me leave town until I do the raid.
I was going to say, I know we have to do it once.
The blacksmith tutorial stops me. The blacksmith tutorial also stops me from leaving town, so if I do it, it'll lift the thing completely. So I'm going to go down to Dogi over here, and I'm going to make a save. That'll be important momentarily. And then it's time for forced cutscene. So I got to also focus for this, so Ghost can talk about that too.
All right, so what he's going to do here is he's going to kill off a couple enemies, and he's going to, repeatedly gain height. And then he's going to get between, like, the loading zone for the Castaway Village and this screen here. So he's bypassing, like, a barrier. There's a little bit of space after this. And he's going to use an attack to kill an enemy. And what happens when you exit a fight, like, the cutscene that's supposed to play afterwards, there's like a brief period of time, so he's just running through a whole bunch of cutscene triggers, and he's basically just stacking all of them. And this is just absolutely breaking the story sequence of this game because there's so many cutscenes that happen in Castaway Village. This is exactly as intended.
So the cutscene in particular that I want is at the top of the hill that I ran up of, and it's going to warp me to the end of chapter 5 out of 6.
So this is Donna, the character whose name is in the game title, also Shoebill.
Yeah, we know this is coming at you really quick, and it is, but we're skipping a lot of the game right now.
Yeah, say hi to Donna. Now she's playable.
Okay, so to very briefly explain kind of the story with this game, we're on this place called Sarin Isle, which we crash landed on with our ship. We're supposed to get a bunch of castaways and try and escape, but there's a giant octopus. We saw, the tentacles at the beginning of the game. His name is Oceanus. There's a whole bunch of mysteries behind the island of Sarin here, and Adol, after chapter 3 or 4, starts seeing flashbacks to this girl named Donna, who supposedly lived hundreds, even thousands of years before the events that, the present time, I guess you could say. And so that's why there's all these like ancient temples here. This is way later in the game, like one of Donna's flashback scenes. So Donna has 3 forms, Base, which is the blue hair, and then Gratica, which is green, and Luminous, which is blue. Here he's just bypassing a boss trigger.
So, yeah, I want to leave this boss room because basically it lets me access. I'm not supposed to be able to access the town here during this section. So the entire place is just empty, and there's supposed to be, I think there's supposed to be like doors blocking me from going to these areas. Interestingly, obviously, when I leave the boss room, and by the way, Donna, when you're in her solo mode and you switch between her forms and attack at the same time, she can just fly in the air. So I have the boss storage, so this is going to trigger this fight here. Now, the reason I want to do this is twofold. One is that I don't want to have boss state in place, and so I'm going to kill this enemy to get rid of it. And the other is actually, I have Gratica form here, but if I left this Donna section and came back to another one, I would actually lose it because I never unlocked it properly. So this is where you unlock the Gratica form.
It's worth noting that Luminous is really good at proccing damage glitch.
Yeah. So you're not actually supposed to be able to beat this enemy until you run out of timer. So that's why I have to fight it twice. All right. So what I want. So I was trying to clear out boss state. So because I wanted to go back to the screen where that boss that I flew out of is, because there's a forced cutscene trigger I want to do there. So there's another method of forced cutscene. We already talked about the one where you fly out of the boss room and kill the enemies from the other side of the barrier. There's another one where if at the end of a raid, if you load a save file as the screen is fading out, it'll basically just activate a cutscene trigger. If the save file was taken on a cutscene trigger and an active one, it'll activate it. So I'm gonna go to the end of this screen here, where there's a crystal. There's a cutscene that activates near it, and it's gonna activate an autosave, and I'm gonna load the file that I took in front of Dogi. It's this one. I definitely talked to Kira, right? Yeah, I did. Okay. That's a soft lock if I don't do that, so I gotta remember that I actually did it. All right. So, one of you want to explain raids?
So raids are effectively like tower defense type missions. A whole bunch of waves of enemies come at you, and you're supposed to, kill them off. These are fairly just annoying. But like completing raids can do some kind of janky things. In fact, you'll see a bit more of that when it comes to any % later.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is you'll notice in the bottom right there is there's like a blue ring that's going around the ship helm like that. Those are my skill points. You can regain skill points by attacking enemies. It specifically has to be a full charge attack like that. The blue ting means that your attack is recharged. You can also automatically recharge attacks by rolling, so that's useful.
Yeah, you can also get it from flash guards and a few other things as well.
All right, I think that's everything we wanted to get to, so we can do donations for a little bit.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We have a lot of love coming in for this game. We have a $20 donation from Jotto, who says, so excited to see this game getting shown off at a GDQ. Best of luck, Bram. Destroy it.
Thanks, Jotto.
Jotto, you have already done more than enough to destroy this video game. Jotto is one of the big cornerstone pillars of the East speedrunning community. He has utterly shattered several of the games in this series. You might have heard in the past, he was involved with breaking Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pearl. And speaking of Pokemon, we actually have a Growlithe on the couch here in honor of Jotto, who is one of his favorite Pokemon. So
yeah, Jotto's the one who found Force Cutscene.
Yeah, and Force Cutscene. So this game used to be about an hour 40 for any % on PS4, and it was still fairly glitchy, buggy, and a lot of skips. But we turned any % into, and by we I mean mainly Jotto, turned it into like a 15-minute category, and then eventually a few others have came along and helped bring it down to like 11 minutes.
Yeah, the only category I've seen in this game is any %, and it's crazy.
Yeah, so this is partly why all story bosses exist, which I think was something of a creation of Jotto's for the sake of...
I think all story bosses has always been there.
Yeah. I think Jotto was like one of the people who like pushed it early, though.
Yeah, he also created this route, too.
Yeah. So... just a category to like play more of the video game, basically.
Sorry, if you want to read anything else, you can.
Oh, yeah, no worries at all. I was just thinking, you had me thinking about fishing mini games earlier, and chat is, as the children say today, cracked, and have already donated over $4,000 to make that Super Sheffy World 2, The Quest for 5 Skulls, 100% upgrade happen, but we have not a lot of time to make that go, and we got a long way to go. So we're trying to raise $30,000, so that means we need over $26,000, but we can do it, chat. Donate, let me know what your favorite fishing mini game is in any game, and why it's not Stardew Valley, because that one is trash.
Nice. All right, so when it says stage clear, it's going to start fading to black, and then I'm going to load the autosave that I made, like this, and it's going to activate the end of a different Donna section, and it's going to create a warp point on the other side of the island from where I started here, and that dungeon up there is going to be active. The loading zone isn't even there until you finish this Donna section. So I just saved myself a whole bunch of story triggers, and now I'm going to go straight back into it and do a lot more setup. One thing you're going to see me doing a lot is changing my controls like this. So there's a lot of infinite jump tricks in this game. Some of them are made either possible or easier or faster if you have attack and switch bound to the same button. Unfortunately, you can bind actions to the same button, but you cannot bind multiple buttons to the same action. So if I don't have a dedicated attack button, I can't attack unless I reach for my keyboard. So I'm going to be changing the controls back and forth a lot, but it is ultimately necessary. So on this screen coming up here, there's going to be, I'm going to go out of bounds, and there's going to be a secret loading zone back here.
You're making use of Solo Donna's ability to just generate vertical height.
So this map here does not exist in Donna's time. I'm now playing in the present as past Donna because because when they were making these maps, they didn't remove that loading zone. So yeah, game's a little bit broken now.
Just a little bit.
I'm gonna go into this dungeon. There's also another secret loading zone in the back here.
But something about like Japanese Donna trying to say something and just not getting it out is really funny to me.
Okay, so here's another boss. As you might expect, I'm not interested in fighting it yet. I want to set up boss state again because there is another very, very important trick coming up where I want to have a boss spawn in illegally. So there's a chain of side quests with where you have to fight a monkey called Master Kong. And what Master Kong does is he trains each party member from the present one-on-one to teach them a new skill. And what that does is it replaces your party with that solo party member here. So the Master Kong fight with Adol's on this screen. It's going to spawn in right away, even though I don't have any of the prerequisite quests set up for it. And that's going to cause an interesting effect when I come out of this Donna section. So I can't win this fight. He's like level 40, whatever. Adol's level 12. I could probably tornado him to death, but it's just faster, just die. So, and then now while I'm over here, I'm going to go hit the nearest warp point. You can get a couple donations while I'm doing that.
Awesome, thank you. I apologize to chat for the very polarizing comment I seem to have made about the Stardew Valley fishing game. Sorry, I don't like it, but that doesn't mean that you can't. We have a $50 donation from Glitchhound who says, I'm a simple fan. I see 100% incentive. I donate. Thank you so much for that donation. We have and I'm sorry to your community in advance, Bram. We have a $25 donation from JPHPUE who says, let's go, Bram. This run is fantastic.
Huge shout out to JP. He did a marathon run of every East game. Pre-10. He has to do it again now, but...
Yeah, and 10 is 2 hours, so...
Yeah. Also, I saw that pun, visibly pained you, so... I was waiting for one.
JP has earned the right to make that one. Yeah. Continue.
All right, thank you. We have a $20 donation from Frozer who says, hello, everyone. I'm glad that we finally get to see one of the best games this series has to offer here, and by someone that put hours onto learning and running this game. I wish you, Bram, the best of luck.
Thanks, Frozer. So anyway, I'm now back in the actual present with Adol and his friends. So we're going to carry on with our adventure to escape Sarah in Ireland. That's right? This is Adol?
This is totally Adol.
Yeah, so when I activated the Master Conquest, it changed some flags around. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it made it so that it replaced my party with Donna and her other forms. Separated, by the way.
Yeah, so it's just 3 Donnas.
Yeah.
And Donna has a much easier time switch canceling, as you can see, like this. I don't even need to time it, so it's huge for the run that I can just kind of play as these characters. So I have to go this. I'm going to go this way to mark another warp point. I'm doing this now because that door I just opened, I'm not going to be able to open it later. So I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. We got a couple more readings.
Oh yeah, for sure. We have a $5 donation from I Love Robo Battles who says, best of luck on the run. Wishing all the best as well to GhostKumo on the couch for being an amazing person. Donation to their choice.
Thanks, Shawnee.
We have a $25 donation from Zelnu who says, love seeing East at GDQ and have to donate to support fellow East runners. Good luck on the run.
Thank you, thank you.
I don't know if they put anything for my choice, dog ending in Silent Hill.
All right, so now I'm going to engage in the Watchtower side quest. It's not actually a side quest, it's mandatory. It's like the side quest tutorial that you have to do as part of the story for how quests work. The reason I have to do this is because it unlocks the ability to upgrade the barricade for raids. So there's going to be another raid I have to do. There's absolutely just we've been racking our brains for years trying to figure out how to skip this raid. I think we actually did figure out a feasible way to do it, but we can't really pull it off in real time. So for now, we're gonna do the Watchtower side quest. All it is just picking up 3 resources, and then of course while I'm out doing it, I'm going to hit more war points. So this is like the very end of the setup phase, but it's, as you can see, it's been pretty bulky. I haven't fought any bosses in like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
I was gonna say like 10 to 15 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of this run is just generally presented out of order, which kind of makes it a little bit of a mess to follow, admittedly.
And hard to explain.
Yes.
So
It'll get a little bit more straightforward very shortly. I mean, it's not even really that complicated now. I'm grabbing some materials for a quest. What else do we have? Any other donations from the community?
Oh my goodness, we have so many donations.
Nice.
We have a $25 donation from Jean-Claude Denton, who says, just missed the run of my 2024 Game of the Year, Unicorn Overlord, but it's followed by another favorite of mine, East 8, less than 3. Thank you so much for that donation. We also have an $18 donation from Tempest Mask 1000,
Hi, Tempest.
who says, yo, Bram, it's your SGDQ roommate and commentator for Live Alive. As a runner of East for Mega Drive, I had to make sure I supported my fellow East Coast homie before I got headed to work. Be sure to give this run a rising slash and an earth shaker of a time. Love you, buddy. Wish I could be there. Also, I promise I won't start a discussion on how to correctly pronounce Tidus's name. Oh, whoops.
Thanks. It's actually the Master System, not the Mega Drive.
Yeah, we wish you were here, Tempest Mask.
Master System East 1 is a 20-second speed run for the record.
No, this way.
It is one that I would love to show off at marathons if it wasn't like too short for it to be worth the setup.
I did teach Tempest how to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of our little fun parlor trick.
Yeah.
We've got some more if we've got time.
Yeah.
All right, we've got $10 from Kiwi, who says, hey, Bram,
Kiwi.
sheesh, can't believe we are finally getting East 8 at the GDQ. Good luck on the run, and hopefully Carveros and Theos are nice today. Love
so
this
too.
game and the Falcom and East communities, and hope everyone has a happy East New Year. Can't wait for more people to hear Sunshine Coastline.
It's playing right now. All right, so... Sheesh. So yeah, once I hit this last war point, I'm gonna warp back to town and hand in the quest, and then we're actually gonna pretty much start the run from there. So get hype. All right, so yeah, they want to build a watchtower so we can look for stuff. I don't know. I don't actually remember why we need this. And now we're going to go off to the, I think it's called the Archaeozoic deep pit. The Archaeozoic wide chasm.
So this area used to be called the Archaeozoic Big Hole. It's kind of a running meme in the community just because of some awkwardness with this game's initial translation. It's since been patched to just Archaeozoic Chasm, but we love the name too much.
I mean, they're not wrong. It is a big hole.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a literal translation of what it was.
They're just saying it how it is, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it messes up the order of adjectives, though. Isn't it like size and then quality, basically?
Maybe.
So it should be big Archaeozoic hole.
Yeah, so the reference of it being Archaeozoic is just like to point out that like Saren is a very big island. Like there are still dinosaurs on here, and like that is a plot point. This is like an island so isolated from everything else that dinosaurs are here.
All right, so here's another boss. I am actually going to fly out of this boss again. Another side effect of boss state is that when you go into a boss room, even if the boss room is active, it will trigger the boss immediately upon room entry. So this saves me like some cutscene skips and a little bit of movement. It's not huge, but I am gonna have to go back and fight that boss later. Just not gonna do it yet. So coming up is the big fight against the Kraken. I'll set the scene a little bit. Basically, this boss, you can only really damage it. You can only really damage it once its stun bar fills up, and then it goes into a stun cycle. Stun cycles are normally timer-based, but Oceanus is different in that his stun phase kind of depletes as you damage him. So it's kind of set up so that you can't really one-cycle him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my extra skill, which is the yellow meter in the bottom. That's a full extra meter.
It's your big flashy finishy super.
Right. Basically what it does is it freezes the screen. So I'm going to try to carry damage glitch into that and get a fast kill on it. No guarantees it works. It's something you have to kind of eyeball. And by the time you see the signs that it's working, it's probably too late. So We're gonna go for the quick kill here.
So this is...
I'm just spamming this so that so I don't get stunned. Anyway, yeah, you go ahead.
So this is Okeanos. This is supposed to be the Chapter 5 end boss, and was originally like the main end goal of the game before the game's like, you know, stakes kind of escalate for its final act.
I did not realize you cancel flash move if you pause the game. That's a new info for me.
I was gonna say this is like
That is the silliest thing to have that's never happened before.
this is like the boss that they like talk about probably the most leading up to it. So you know, we get to it in like 30 minutes.
Okay, good. There it is. So yeah, you traditionally you're supposed to like launch those dandelions at it, and daffodils rather. I don't know what they are. Dandelions, and you that's how you're supposed to stun it. Did I? Okay, yeah. So I'm waiting for my other guys to get here, but I just use damage glitch to do it. Come on, let's do it now.
Very
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, good.
Just having a lot of trouble with that in practice before, so...
Yeah. So here's the part, I'm gonna fight that ice goat boss that I flew out of before, but he's actually not gonna be there, so I'm gonna have to force him to be there. So we're gonna go back to our friend, the chameleon. Actually, hang on, I have to reset this up.
A thing worth noting, there's a lot of these fights you were not meant to be Donna for. So
Yeah.
everything you see in this run is just going to be like, if you haven't played this game before and you get to your casual playthrough, you'll be like, this isn't how that fight was in the run.
A lot of things aren't how they are.
That is 90% of this run.
Anyway, you're supposed to go back to town and trigger the, wait, not that. You're supposed to go back to town and trigger the fight from there, but I can take this shortcut here since I have boss state active. There he is.
Like we mentioned before, you're not supposed to be Donna for most of the parts that we are Donna for.
And like I said, Luminous's melees can trigger damage glitch, so basically just mash until he dies. There he goes.
Nice.
Okay, so what happens after this in the story is that Donna has like this vision of her past here, and it prompts her to temporarily leave the party. So what does this mean for us? We're gonna find out real shortly.
Oh, hey.
Look, it's Ys. Here's our...
I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so yeah, now we have present Adol and 2 past forms of Donna as our party members.
And yeah, this is our party for the entire rest of the run.
So one Donna swapped back into Adol, and the rest are, they've still stayed as Donna.
Yep. So it's time for the Tower of the Baja Blast. It is a tilted, leaning tower, and one of the cooler sections of movement in this entire run.
Yeah. I'm here right now because this is where you get double jump, pretty much. I just want to unlock that as soon as possible so I don't have to float as much. But I'm still gonna have to float quite a bit. But there are some situations where just double jump will do, and if I can, I'd rather just have it that way. Maybe one donation?
Oh, for sure. We have $50 from Eater of Fromage, who says, Ys 8 was my favorite find of last year and a fantastic introduction to an amazing series. Watching this is mind-boggling. 3 Donnas?
All right, so there's another boss coming up. I have Adol with me, who's gonna be our main boss killer, but because he's still level 12, it's kind of dangerous for me to use him, so I'm gonna just use Luminous for this one. Like this.
Yeah, so something worth noting is that a lot of Falcom games, there's like an EXP scaling. Lower level you are, the better XP you get. So he just jumped like 16 levels instantly.
I was gonna say, he's up to 28 now, so.
Yeah. And so you saw this a little bit during the raid, but the most overpowered skill in the entire game is Adol's Tornado Sword. It can trigger damage clicks like nothing else. So that's my double jump right here. So yeah, Odorina, I would have to float up that ledge if I didn't have double jump, so makes my life a little easier. I forgot to change my controls. There it is. Anything else for us, Threach?
I have so much for you. Oh my goodness. I really touched a nerve. We have $25 from Sapphire Gray, who says, Luma Island has the best fishing minigame. Thank you folks who have donated to let me know, including Josie Rose, who donates $5 and says, trash. Trash, ma'am? The fishing minigame in Stardew Valley is exceptional and is wonderfully challenging and glorious. Thank you so much for that. I also want to keep everyone updated. We are almost at $5,000 raised to upgrade Super Chefy World 2 to 100%. That is so much more content from the Any Percent run. We want to see more GDQ, so get those donations in and apply them at the bottom of the page when you donate.
You all are very passionate about your fishing minigames, and I respect it.
All right, so this is a tricky boss. This is another stun cycle-based boss, and I think he functions similar to Oceanus, where if you do more damage to him, he comes out of stun sooner. So I would like to get a 1 cycle, but no, it's not guaranteed. You can learn skills in this game by like attacking things that are higher level than you, basically. So I just had a couple of them pop here. It's quasi-random anyway, but there we go.
Very
Nice.
I was also having trouble on this one in
Yeah.
practice, so that was very nice.
Good 1 cycle.
Right. And then there's also skills you can learn from treasure chests. That's how I got Tornado back in the forest dungeon. So now we're gonna take care of that boss I neglected earlier, right here. Maybe learn a couple of new skills while I'm here. There's one in particular that I want to get by a certain time. It's Force Edge. If you've played this game, you probably know about how good Force Edge is. It's probably the most overpowered one intended percent, I guess.
Most overpowered one is insofar as not its application to damage glitch.
Yes. All right, so here's, we're gonna enter the section with the pirate ghosts, not ghost pirates, pirate ghosts. So what happens is, like, I think these are the ghosts of the very first pirates who crash landed on Saren Island, and they've got like a big lore dump for us. I don't really remember it. Maybe King J remembers.
Just something like that.
Yeah, sounds right.
So these are some wasps' nests down there. I'm supposed to have like a bug spray to clear them, but there's actually just a massive invisible wall, and I can just fly over it.
Yeah,
So-
I'm just kind of known for not setting particularly high vertical ceilings. It's just like, is this higher than you can jump over normally?
It isn't always. Shout outs to East Origin. Can't you just like jump over boss triggers in that game?
Yes, they didn't set it particularly high, so if you have anything that can like get you more height than intended, they're just really easy to jump over. Or at least some of them are. Some of them are like exceptionally high, but yeah, there's like 2 boss skips in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Dinosaurs.
there's gonna be a ledge coming up that I can just normally double jump up it. If before you unlock double jump, they put like a wicked high invisible wall there, so it's a little bit faster to come here later when you have double jump and they don't put the big wall up there. You don't have to fly up it. Gonna do a quick out of bounds to get into this dungeon from the dungeon's loading zone from the backside, just a little bit faster than going all the way around.
Yeah, and all the dinosaurs in this game are a reference to one of Falcom's more obscure games, Dinosaur.
Also, everything's okay, by the way.
A game that does not have dinosaurs.
All right, well, that was my fault.
Don't worry about us just flying through a mountain. This is normal. This is how your first playthrough will go,
This
actually.
is intended, right? If it wasn't intended, it wouldn't be in the game.
Exactly.
Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, the much trickier one coming up here. So you see the big pirate ship out there in the water, right?
Of course I do. Who can?
Okay. No, hang on. So yeah, the pirate ship isn't actually there, but the loading zone is there. So it's not. You can't really see it until you get really close to it. So this is kind of a tricky. Out of bounds thing. I think it's about right here. Okay, it was a little bit to the left. There it is.
Nice.
Cool, nice. All right, so yeah, there's also a boss on this ship, but it's not going to be there. It wants me to open a bunch of chests first, so I'll just force him to be there.
Yeah, so this whole like pirate ship is kind of its own particular set piece in the game. It's honestly one of the coolest, like just general isolated scenarios in the entire series, if you ask me. But
Oh, definitely, yeah.
yeah, but it's also like this very creepy kind of ship. And there's this big ghost zombie pirate monstrosity here that you just destroy with damage glitch.
Yeah, I actually have to open this chest here. Oh, this reminds me, actually. So there's like a crash that I found that I started running into, and I don't really know how to prevent it, but this is the best I can come up with. This coming in out of this crystal right here. So anyway, don't worry about that. I gotta activate some more cutscenes here. You can read more stuff.
All right, apologies in advance because there's a lot of stuff I can't pronounce here. We've got a $250 donation from Squishy Flan who says, wanted to make sure I saw this run, so I set my Lacrimosa at dawn so I could keep my oath in Felghana. You see, I have fond memories of Celceta playing these games, including overcoming the Monster Knocks as I wandered from east. So let's set sail in our Ark of Nefaster, find that lost Kafin, bask in the mask of the sun, and enjoy time with the Nordics. Looking forward to this run, leaving trails in the sky and the bad localizations. Hoping I didn't miss any of the games, all 7+ of them.
You got most of them, yeah.
You got most.
So you got most of the pronunciations.
That's
Lacrimosa at dawn caught me so off guard.
I knew as soon as I heard that I was being set up for something. All right.
So the gimmick behind this place is that most of the bosses are undead. So I had to pick up an item that can kill undead, or most of the enemies are undead. What? Oh, there it is. Okay. Most of the enemies are dead, including both of the bosses. There's Force Edge. Oh, and there's our Aura Blade and Blade Rush. Okay, well that's everything I want, pretty much. Sometimes you just learn every skill on this boss. Sometimes you don't. So make sure to equip the kill undead item before you fight the boss. Otherwise, I'll just keep coming back to life. Definitely never done that in my life before.
It's kind of a tradition that every one of these games is like a thing that's like every runner forgets at least once.
Yeah, there's people who drown in East Origin, I think.
Yes.
Okay, there's another out of bounds coming up. Basically, there's a loading zone here, but if I get over it, I won't trigger it, so I can, shoot. All right, do it again. Okay, cool. And I want to get behind this door here. Whose bandana is it, Adel? All right, so there's a puzzle here. You gotta turn the statues so they match the doors. These first 3 are mandatory, the last one's optional. And pick up this item here.
Yeah, so that's just a crafting material.
Oops. Yeah, so you need material in order to upgrade the barricade. You need to use materials, and I just picked up. That's 2/2. That's right. Okay. Okay, and now here's the one that you don't have to do. You can skip it. First, I want to pick up this strength boosting item. Miraculously, your strength actually still matters, even though it doesn't look like it does. Okay. And then I can just jump over this door. I don't have to do the puzzle.
Here we go, flying. And there we go.
All right. Well.
Oh, almost.
That's fine.
Now we're good.
Almost. There we go.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting the invisible wall, like, extends higher than I expected to.
There's a lot of invisible walls. Okay, so this boss is 2 phases. The first one, you gotta go around in a circle and kill a bunch of little things, but actually, it's optional. What am I doing? Okay, yeah, that's right, okay. So yeah, what I'm doing on these fights is I'm, like, proccing damage glitch initially, and then I switch to Luminous, and this kills the boss a little bit faster.
Yeah, something worth noting is this was the first East game that let you have something they call simul-flash, where you can have both a flash dodge and flash guard active at the same time. They like retroactively applied it to Celceta when they ported it to PC, but this was the first one that really introduced that, and it's pretty abusable.
So one thing you've noticed is that some of these bosses drop flame stones. You hand these into the blacksmith, and then she can upgrade your weapons. The thing is, you have to get them in order, or it won't work. And there's one I'm just never gonna get. So I'm just mostly, for the most of the run, I'm just gonna have the weakest weapon possible, or one of the weakest weapons possible. But and the only upgrades I'm gonna be able to get are forced by the story, pretty much. And there's one coming up shortly. We met the upgrade to Nightmare Center, right? That's a joke. Sorry.
You had me legit worried for a second there.
I was like, you might want to clarify that before.
Okay, so on the higher difficulties on this fight, you get more worms popping out of the ground at the same time. Makes you can kill them faster. And then you can just switch back to easy in the middle of the fight, and they regain all the stats back. So just a tiny time save, pretty much. And then the big one's going to come out of the ground like this. Come on, that's the swaggiest looking flash move I could have hit, and I missed it.
Here you can see Luminous Donna trying to damage glitch the walls.
Yeah, that's one of the first bosses in the game, so I didn't have to use damage glitch there.
Yeah, he's already sequence broken the game so much that his level is high enough to not even have to worry about it.
Yeah, I think you'd be like level like 8, not even.
I think you'd be about level 18. I know this is where
18, okay.
This is where Hummel joins you, and he's level 20, and he's like always higher than anybody else in the party.
Yeah, Hummel is like peculiar in that he is tied to like a trick that we haven't even like defined as a glitch. This game doesn't actually really have a proper glitchless category. It's kind of been more like a community, honor system type of run. Sadly, Hummel is not anywhere in this run. He is Mr. Does Not Appear in this speed run. It is the only one of the characters in this game that doesn't appear in any real capacity, apart from like cutscenes and apparently level ups, strangely enough.
So yeah, interestingly, the last boss drops the item that, what? Oh, the last boss drops items that lights up dark rooms, but this dungeon isn't actually very dark, so I don't need it. Anyway, this is where we pick up Dina, the merchant, and she can. If one of you wants to explain what Dina does.
So in Ys 8, because we're all castaways, there's no currency. So basically everything you do is through bartering and I have resources, you give me things. So you can trade low-level resources for better resources. And this is what he's using to make better crafting materials for stuff like the barricade and weapon upgrades and whatnot.
Yeah, it would make 0 sense if they're just like, oh yeah, give me this much gold or anything like that. So yeah, using the barter system just makes a lot more sense for the story, and also makes sense for all the items that you collect and all the materials you collect.
All right, so we're gonna start the quest to get orichalcum weapons. The raid that we have to do has a lot of dinosaurs in it, and you actually cannot kill dinosaurs. They'll keep coming back to life unless you have orichalcum weapons. So we're basically just going to activate the part of the story where you unlock the orichalcum weapons. What's going to happen is there's going to be a mission where you try to find the stratum of orichalcum, and that gives you the weapon upgrade, but the actual flag that lets you kill the dinosaurs isn't until you do the hunt afterwards, for some reason. I think this might be because the hunt wasn't in the game originally, and so I don't know why the flags to give you the power of the weapons versus the one that lets you kill dinosaurs are separate and on either side of the hunt, but that's how they did it.
Something we actually haven't even really talked too much on is just general movement in this game. There's like no end lag when you jump or roll. So he's basically just, anytime there's a vertical slope, he's just mashing jump and roll. And there's a few different types of movement in this game, depending on whether you're going on flat surfaces, up a slant, or down a slant.
I didn't mention this, but I'm going up this dungeon backwards. This entire section is supposed to be downhill, but I'm already past this part. I already got past this part when I created the flag, the warp flag on the other side of the island, so I'm going backwards. So it's a little trippy looking if you're used to the normal way. If you would like to read donations along with Next Step into the Unknown, then go ahead.
I would absolutely love to do that. We have a follow-up donation. It's $5 from Tempest Mask 1000, who says, "Host, you leave me no choice. Steve TV Online, you might agree with me on this one too. We play fishing. You're welcome. Also, hi, Joe and Kumo."
Don't know that
Interesting choice.
As an update on that incentive, we've raised over $5,000 to upgrade Super Sheffy World 2 to 100%. Folks, we've got just a few more games to make that happen, so get your donations in. Thank you to Heinrich for the $25 donation, who says, donating on behalf of all fishing minigames. Thank you so much. I also want to read this $50 donation from Sometimes God, who says, "Hi everyone, first time donating to AGDQ, but I just had to donate during the Ys 8 run. It's one of my favorite games of all time, alongside all the other titles in the Ys series. This series deserves so much more attention and love, and I'm incredibly happy it's getting a spotlight here at AGDQ. If Bram beats a Guaranga sometime during the run, I'll donate another $50. Let's all beat cancer together."
I'll take care of that in a second. So this is another boss fight. I'm flying out of it. This is once again, the reason for this is once again twofold. This is one of the most punishing cycle-based bosses in the game, and I want to do it when I have a better weapon. That's one. The other one is I do want to immediately spawn in a boss later. Saves me a little bit of movement in the screen that he appears on if he just shows up right away. So, yeah, that's why I did that.
Yeah, kind of killing two birds with one stone there. That fight has a lot of parts where he goes off of the screen, so just being as strong as possible to minimize any window of opportunity for it to do that. Void out, unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a legit void out. I kind of misread where I was.
Yeah, the void out planes are a little tricky, and so he's trying to work his way around them.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Here's Avocado again. He's a recurring boss. There's actually 2 more times that you fight him and you're not going to see.
Yeah, I was gonna say you fight this guy a lot in your casual playthrough.
Okay, what was it? That's the crab, I think, in the forest. Let me go over here there real quick. Yeah, Goranga. Got him.
Nice.
Why?
Because they would go to donate, I guess. I don't know.
No, I mean that. I'm just like, why the crab?
I don't know, man.
Why not the crab?
Why not?
I mean, fair.
Fair enough.
You make a good argument.
Because he has a weak point that you must attack for massive damage. All right, more uphill movement. We are going to find the Orichalcum up here in the cave. This is also where a character named Ricotta joins the party, and actually that's the point of no return for being able to equip anything to Adol or use any items on him. So I had to make sure I did everything, did all my menus correctly before this point. Yeah, this game's a little bit confused right now. Also, I can't add Ricotta to the party even though she's right there. Like, the party's grayed out.
Yeah. Now we're just with Donna. The 2 Donnas and Adol.
Yeah, that's the only party you need. That's the party I use in my casual.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now, the thing about a lot of Falcom games, they tend to be like actually pretty well put together. It's just when you break something in the sequence, everything afterwards just kind of like it tries to do a bunch of things, and it's just it crumbles. And
all right, so here's a fight against some wolves. This is strictly for safety. There's another castaway you can unlock here, and basically during the raids, the different castaways you pick up have different effects. This guy will full heal and full revive my party if he shows up, so that's just good to have as a backup. But ideally, you don't rely on that, and you don't need to do it. Okay, so I got the Orichalcum, and now I have to do the, I'm not gonna do the hunt. So a hunt is like a raid, but you're the ones raiding, I think. I don't really need to save. Oh, actually, Ghost probably wants me to talk to the parrot.
give me food.
Great voice line.
It is so good in English. It's one of my favorite voice lines in English.
So here I'm upgrading the gate. I wanted to get it to at least 5. I have the materials for 6, so I'm just gonna do it for the extra insurance. The raid I'm gonna do is like the last one in the story. It's super late game, and the dinosaurs will just knock it out in one hit if it's still at level 1. So now I'm gonna do the hunt here. Basically, there's a bunch of monsters' nests, and you have to destroy all of them. And in order to destroy them, they take almost no damage unless you light torches near them. Sorry? Okay, well, I'm hearing something through my headphones.
Yeah, in order for these to take any damage whatsoever, we need to activate these torches, as we mentioned. So we gotta make sure we do that, or else they're gonna be like almost nearly impossible to defeat whatsoever.
Yeah, even if you like try to do damage glitch, they pretty much don't die.
Yeah.
That's swamp hovering, by the way. If you switch to a CPU ally that's stuck in the swamp,
You're able to get like a
Yeah.
whole bunch of height. This is actually one of the very first bits of movement tech and sequence breaks that was found for this game. This was long before like Jado started just shattering it. So
okay, so the boss shows up here. It's the same boss from the very start of the game, but he's like way bulkier. See if okay, good, nice. So you want to defeat him before the wave 1 results go off the screen and the wave 2 starts, because otherwise you have to sit through 16 more seconds of result screens. Anyway, I'm going to activate the flag for the raid. I'm going to go back and start this. So this is one of the toughest parts of the run, pretty much. This is a recommended level 60. I'm going to be level 52. That's kind of underleveled. We used to just at like level 49, I think, but reordering some of the bosses makes the XP curve a little bit more favorable. So as you can see, I can Force Edge is extremely powerful. It's a huge radius and it does a lot of damage.
It's also very quick.
Yes, it's very quick and it's very spammable and it costs almost no MP. Well, it costs 20 SP, so which is yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah, like SP skills tend to go up to like, I think in this game they go up to like 50. There's some that are like just really big, but what often determines whether a skill is particularly good to use is not just how much damage it deals. Sometimes it's how much stun it has, which is not something that factors too much into the run. And then spam ability is super big.
So some of these larger monsters are very dangerous. So I made it a little bit safer. I picked up some extra armor. I got that guy who can revive me if I die. But ordinarily, I can't use any items on Adol at all. I can't heal him. So I just have to try to avoid taking as much damage as I can. As you can see, if you're missing HP, there's natural regen that kicks in. That varies depending on various stuff. If Captain Barbaros, who you can see is about to pop up in the top left corner there, will set the regen rate to max. So it's very useful to have him show up. There's castaways who could like make you do more damage, make you take less damage. So you're kind of just relying on the best ones, pretty much. But yeah, if Adol dies, I mean, I can wait for Austin to show up and revive him, but if he weren't there, if Adol dies, that's just a reset, pretty much. So yeah, these larger ones in particular are scary. But that was a very clean first wave.
Nice.
This is only 3 waves. It's technically only 2 waves and then a wave that's just a boss. And then when you beat the boss, the wave is finished. So it's another raid. It's another donation spot. Let's hear it.
All right, wonderful, thank you. We are getting toward that Super Chefy World 2 upgrade incentive to 100%, including from a donation from Duolf, who sends in $250 and says, gotta donate for Flowstone Saga's brilliant fishing minigame. Thank you so much for that donation. And $25 from Pistol Pete, who says, let's get that Chefy World incentive met. We also have $5 from Spectre Salmon, who says, super glad to see the East series get so much love that it deserves. A series that's full of amazing games and memorable characters. Save the timeline, kill the dinosaurs.
Yes.
They're actually called primordials in this game. For some reason, they didn't get permission to use the word dinosaur. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Despite owning the trademark.
But hey, we actually can kill the dinosaurs now, so
Yeah.
there you go.
We are, in fact, the meteor.
Yeah, you can read some more stuff.
All right, thank you. I'm like, with the dinosaur copyright police came after them, and they're like, no, not today. We've got $25 from Dr. Lena St. Cameron, who says, I'm a longtime Square fangirl. This is my first time seeing East despite 3 decades of JRPGs. Great to see it at such a great event.
Yeah, East is a very old series. It actually predates Final Fantasy.
It predates the attack button.
It does, actually. Well, no, it doesn't. Zelda 1 had it beforehand, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of things from the early games. Like, I believe the reason why the item get jingles sounds so similar to Metroid is that, like, Yuzo Koshiro played Metroid, and he was like, I really like this. And he picked something similar, and then, like, Super Metroid came out, and Super Metroid's was closer to the one East had, because, like, the original NES one was a little different.
Yeah, I joked earlier about how it's the same, but it's not actually the same. Metroid is da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, and East is ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, so they're different.
This is just legally distinct Metroid.
It is.
They've never done anything about it. Nintendo even puts Falcom games in their direct, so I guess they, you know.
Yeah, I will say that East 8 was the first East game I ever played, and then it was so good that I ended up picking up all of them. So
yeah, my breakthrough. I did play East 1 first, but the game that really got me into the series was Celceta, and that one had like a lot of the combat stuff in this game, and then a really broken PC version.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not joking when I say this. My first East game was East 1 for the Master System.
Yeah, that one is a...
that's one to start with.
Yeah, so that one, we have a wrong warp in the first town that makes it completable in 20 seconds, so...
My screen just went black? Okay, good.
I, like, bumped my cord on my headphone thing, and I was like, at the same time, I was like, there was no way that was caused.
That'd be crazy if you caused that. from back here.
So this is part of the reason we don't like raids a whole lot. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of just beating up mobs of enemies. And
Thankfully, I have the parrot turned off.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, he makes a lot of like alerts.
I don't know what his voice line would be in Japanese, but I'm sure it wouldn't be fun to listen to over and over again. So,
well, we heard him a little bit earlier.
yeah.
I love Pharaoh. He's so funny.
All right. Okay, so what important tech coming up? So I skipped a whole bunch of raids, and the cutscene that plays after this is actually from a different one that I skipped. And if I skip that cutscene, it will send me to that story state associated with that raid, and it will actually softlock me. I can't progress after this because it thinks I'm in the wrong spot. So I got to make sure I do not skip the cutscene coming up, and I skip the one after it. So yeah, like this.
Yeah, so there is thankfully still a fast forward as well.
Yep. So what happens now is, you see like the entire north half of the island is like blocked off from fast travel. And, oh yeah, I gotta fight this guy now. So hope he gives me good patterns.
Yeah, again, he loves to make himself untargetable, so...
Like, I can't target him now. I gotta wait for him to come over here.
When he plays casually, it's like the most inconsistent boss, just because he flies all around.
Come on, hand. All right, good. He's dead. I guess not? Okay, good.
Now he's dead, yeah.
He could have easily flown away right there, so...
Let's go. You've been getting, like, really good damage glitch. I mean, I'd say luck, just not... It's not RNG, but it is kind of luck.
Yeah, I've been getting very fortunate. So what happens here is dinosaurs take off this northern half of the mountain, and then what's going to happen is we're going to try to go to the Temple of the Great Tree, but it's going to be like covered in fog, and then the temple's like never going to show up. The bridge is going to be like infinitely expanding, pretty much. And basically, the next boss, the map that I fight him on, we have like no way of getting to it without actually fulfilling these story triggers. That's why I had to do the raid, because just I can't force the boss to show up because the map he's on doesn't exist until I do all that stuff. Anyway, I'm spamming the roll button. Threach, let's hear some more donations.
Oh my goodness, of course. Thank you so much to Crow the Burb, who sends in $250 with no comment, but we very much appreciate your generosity to benefit Prevent Cancer Foundation. Thank you so much. Don't forget, folks, ! Donate in chat to get that link. And we are still working to upgrade Super Chef World 2 to 100%. We are just over $5,400 to make that happen, but we got to raise $30,000 before that run. So now is your chance to get those donations in.
Nice.
We've also got a $25 donation from Eclusian Dance, who says, so thrilled to see Ys back in GDQ. Nothing bad could ever happen with Adol on a boat. Ys 8 is my personal favorite in the series. Let's go. Also, wanted to mention to runner and commentators, there's a ton of discourse in chat about people talking about their favorite Ys games. So if you have recommendations on what's a good chance to get into the Ys series, do you have?
This is a good one.
I have a paste bin for this, actually.
You can don't be like put off by the 8 in the title. You can start with like literally any of them.
Yeah, it's kind of like Final Fantasy. Like they all have their own separate stories.
Yeah, so Adol is the main protagonist, but every one of the games is basically like a retrospective on one of his like, one of his travels. And that's part of why they're able to get away with telling the games out of order. So 1 happens, then 2, and then 10, and then 4, then 3, then 5, then 8, then 7, then 6, or then 6, then 7, then 9.
Are you following along?
Generally, 1 and 2 come along together, so 2 is kind of awkward to start. 9 has a lot of references to stuff, so it's a little awkward. But like pretty much any of them, I mean, I'd say 6 is best enjoyed after 2, but like try 1 if you find bump system combat a bit, too dated for you. Origin is a good point to start. And then if you want to just start on like one of the best ones, 8 is a very good place to start. It doesn't have too many references to other games.
Again, we weren't joking when we said there's a paste bin, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so you see this really long bridge that I'm kind of running down? I would have had to do another one of those if I didn't force the boss to show up immediately by flying out of the chameleon room again. So that's why I did that. We were talking about other stuff while it happened, but that's the explanation. Yeah, this entire next few minutes is like pretty much vanilla. What happens here? Donna, a meteor hits Donna's hometown back in the past, and she has to go to the Valley of Kings to find answers, I think.
The meteor missed the dinosaurs, but hit her town instead, unfortunately. So,
yeah. More donations, I guess.
All right.
Thought there'd be more story to go over, but I think we covered it.
That's great.
This is the spoiler territory, so we're keeping it a little down low.
Yeah, and chat, don't forget there will be a quiz about the order in which you should play these games. I'm just saying, after this, there will be a quiz. We've got a $50 donation from Hyper C, who says, I've been a huge fan of Ys since the TurboGrafx days, so I've got to donate for this awesome Ys 8 run. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We've got...
if anybody in chat or in the audience has like a phobia of dinosaurs falling from the sky, you might want to look away from the screen. Go ahead, keep reading.
Thank you. We've got $50 from Master Quake, who says, Ys 8 was my first Ys game as I missed out on 1 through 7. Now I love the series and want to go back to play the others. Gotta donate during this run. Also, I'm a simple virtual fisherman. I love the Ocarina of Time fishing.
I don't agree, but okay.
So I want the host to control F and see if they can find Dark Cloud 2 in any of the fishing ones.
Dark Cloud 2,
You can look at the screen now. The dinosaurs are gone.
The dinosaurs are gone.
Is this the point where I admit that I've never played Ocarina of Time? Do I? Uh-oh.
Oh, no. I think you just started another flood of comments.
Let me distract everyone through math. Okay, folks, when we meet this upgrade to 100% Super Chefy World 2 run, we will be close to cresting $400,000 raised. We can do that on day 3? Absolutely, we can do that on day 3. Now is the time to donate, chat. And don't forget, at the bottom of the page, apply your donation to the incentive. We want to see that met.
All right, so I'm about to enter the final dungeon. The funny thing is, you can use Force Cutscene to get here super early. But in this category, that would cause a soft lock.
Also, shout out to the final dungeon happening like one of the best bangers in this soundtrack.
So yeah, the gimmick here is that you're supposed to go around and there's a bunch of mini bosses that spawn in, but I want to skip all of them because they're not important.
Yeah, old any percent, you used to actually have to fight the final boss before you'll see after this run, but
Before you'll see.
yeah. Honestly, it was a really cool run in its own right, though. Of just like you blitzing straight to the final boss and doing things.
I've actually never tried it, and I might try the old route.
That's what the old route is. What I have watched. So I've never seen like the current any percent. So I'm actually really excited for that.
Yeah, it is worth mentioning, by the way, this game does have a true ending. The true ending boss does not count as part of all story bosses, since if you think about it, it's kind of optional. It is technically a story boss in some ways, but if you want to make that argument, but for the sake of the category, it's not included just because
actually kind of a boring thing to have to unlock in this.
Yeah, there's a lot of work you have to actually do to meet the requirements to get true ending, and it would end up being like a lot of cutscene overflow and just repetition. So it's kind of its own category, but it's not one that we really integrated into this run. It's not really something you can easily trigger through like, glitches either.
I mean, you can easily trigger through glitches. It's just not that exciting.
Yeah.
I've run true ending before. It's funny to do like once or twice, but. So yeah, here we have to go around, and there's like a bunch of these mini dungeons with the Wardens of Evolution inside them. You do have to beat all 4 of them before you can unlock you can't just skip to the last one before you can unlock the Adol's ultimate weapon, the Mistletoe. And then once I unlock that, it's going to be basically just go around and find all the bosses that I missed and kind of just clean them up. And then to the final boss. So this guy's a giant Minotaur.
Yeah, that sums it up.
Yeah, he's just like way too much health for like no reason at all, but not a problem for me because I can just do this.
Yep.
God. I have seen many a run use damage glitch, and it's still just as like,
It's so crazy.
it still blows my mind.
This is like the one glitch that you might run into by accident, casually.
It's so funny because like casually some of these bosses, like specifically Oceania, like takes so long, and then you just destroy it in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, we call it damage glitch, but the unfortunate reality is it's remarkably easy to trigger almost by accident.
Yeah.
Just
I had to go off a couple times when I first played this, like kind of late into the game.
Yeah, so
I think so too, yeah.
It's part of why like making a quote unquote glitchless category for this game is so difficult, and why we don't have a leaderboard for it.
Yeah, every now and again someone will say, well, we should do a glitchless category, and I don't know. No one ever commits to the rule set or trying to find a rule set, but
Yeah. One runner who does sometimes do stuff like that is Exik, who is actually doing commentary on the Japanese restream. So shout outs to Exik for that.
No, that's not right.
He had like a glitchless no early Hummel. I don't remember if it was no damage glitch, but
It was true. It was glitchless true ending. If you want to try to avoid damage glitch, the best thing you can do is pre-patch, down patch the game, because old patch didn't have it go off as easily. So this boss is really, really annoying. What am I at? Still have the thing. Okay. This boss, I have a really hard time getting damage glitch to stick if I use Tornado, so I'm switching to Luminous because I find that easier. So just mash a little bit. Eventually it'll happen. Sometimes she'll just fly off screen. Thankfully she's not doing it now. Oh, never mind. I wasn't able to kill her in time. So any boss that flies off screen in this game is my enemy, pretty much. Uh-oh. Nothing bad happens if she dies. It's just kind of a pain in... Come on, dude. Thank you. Okay.
There we go.
Got
Nice.
stunned, so that was free from there. Yeah. Yeah, there's one more. Maybe like 2 donations here?
Absolutely. I have a $75 donation from Jane Chapman, who says, happy to support this worthy cause. Thank you so much for your donation. We also have a $50 donation from Jay Rihi 59, who says, I recently got into the East series and fell in love instantly. Good luck to the runner destroying one of my favorite games.
Thank you. I can't take credit for destroying it, though. We already talked about Jetto earlier. Did we mention that Jetto's here on the couch with us?
Yeah,
Yes,
we did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Our little Growlithe over here, who I thankfully haven't elbowed off the couch at this point. I was so worried about that.
All right, so there's one more of these Warden bosses. This one has 2 health bars for some reason, even though she doesn't actually have that much health. You can't actually see like the numbers of how much health they have in this game, unlike you could in some of the older ones.
Yeah, so we would explain if it mattered more because of a damage glitch is sometimes bosses will have 2, sometimes even 3 health bars, but again, because of damage glitch, they're still gone in the same amount of time, just because of how much damage we deal.
All right, we're gonna get back into technical territory here. This is the Kierguard section of the run. Oops. So there's a boss in this game called Kierguard, and I'm gonna try to force him into existence. Unfortunately, the map he's fought on is the same one as Avocado. So as you can see, if I go into the map, Avocado shows up. So I have to use force cutscene to trigger the story state from before you enter the fight with Kierguard. And the cutscene trigger is actually really far away. The only reason I'm able to do it is because I'm going at Luminous's speed. Okay. I just barely made it out of there as his health bar would reach 0, so it's okay. This trigger's right here. F in the chat for Barbaros. Okay, so now if I go back into that room, Kierguard will be there. But I still have boss state active, so I'm going to get rid of it with using a different boss. This boss right here also requires boss state to set up, so just kind of doing 2 birds with 1 stone here.
you were under the floor there before you worked. Was that going to hit the void out plane?
No. It would have if I hadn't opened the map right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
I have never seen him do that. What? What? Didn't matter. Got sniped. If I were playing as Adult Party, that would have knocked me to the ground. So yeah, here's the kind of the side dungeon you can play as Donna. Only one of these bosses is actually required in the story, so this is the only one I'm gonna fight.
Yeah, technically this is I think added content from the PS4 version and later on, because I don't know if this boss was, but I know this dungeon was not in the original PSP or PS Vita version of this game.
This dungeon was not in the game originally. Neither were Donna's alternate forms, actually.
That's something I did not know. That's interesting.
Yes, the original game was released on Vita because Falcom was making a lot of games for Vita. It's where the first 2 Trails of Cold Steels sold the most until they got on PC.
This boss on Inferno is terrible.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But he's done.
Bacana.
Impossible.
Where to? Clarion. I gotta remember to kill Clarion, actually. So yeah, we're finally gonna take care of the chameleon.
I will say that Kierguard being a boss was a pretty good plot twist the first time I played it. So
Yeah.
Thank you, Chameleon, for being the quickest boss to load into.
Yeah, level 14. I was supposed to beat him like an hour ago.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so now it's just basically cleaning up all the bosses before we finish up the game.
Yeah. So next off is the swamp area. It's an area I skipped entirely because there just wasn't any reason to go there. You're gonna see a little bit more of that swamp movement I was talking about earlier in more detail, in more depth. This first boss is, you might recognize him from Final Fantasy V.
Oh my gosh.
Oops. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Okay, it's right there. All right.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
you're supposed to like beat him right away because all his little fruits at the bottom have like no health. But then I ran out of SP all of a sudden, so I had to figure out which ones were still alive. We're gonna show some sweet swamp movement while we watch that. We can get some donations read.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. We've got a $10 donation from Wells who says, always good to see my boy Bramhall at GDQ. Almost 400K. Let's go, everyone.
Nice, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. We've got $25 from Lay who says, not only does it have some of the best dresses, but Infinity Nikki also has a pretty satisfying fishing mechanic. Donation going to upgrading Sheffy World to 100%. Thank you so much for that. We have passed $6,000 raised out of the $30,000 to upgrade Super Sheffy World 2 to 100%. Keep going with that, folks. Now is the time.
All right, so this next boss is also kind of a phase boss. Basically, he's got these eyes on his back that you have to, get me out of here. Defeat, which I can just do in one hit because I'm over-leveled. Level 69, nice. And then, yeah, you can just beat him normally here. And that's him, Hippo, giant fairy hippo with eyes on his back.
The game's bosses are basically just don't blink sometimes.
And then we got one more guy before final boss. This one we've actually seen before. I flew out of him right at the beginning. And I just did not have a reason to attack him, or to fight him at all until now. Might as well wait until I have the ultimate sword to do it. There he goes.
Just eviscerate an entire health bar of his in a single strike.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Okay.
So that was all story bosses defeated now. They should name a category after that.
All right, so I'm doing one last hover here. I didn't bother changing my controls for this one because it's really short, but as you can see, I just don't get up that fast if I don't have the double bind. So yeah, you can just skip this entire area, go over the wall, and there's actually a floor underneath it.
Yeah.
Get over the barrier. Okay, I want to be as adult here. So this boss is 3 phases. First one is a bunch of tentacles. You know, if I had a nickel for every time I had to fight tentacles in this game, I'd have 15 cents.
Which isn't a lot, but it's crazy that it happens.
And more tentacles. I can't believe there was more. So yeah, this was kind of a East cliche for a while, the tower boss.
Yeah, this is like the boss of East 9, East 7, East 8. Yep. Thankfully, they nixed it for... Actually, they have something like this in... like a variation of it in Silsetta, and they nixed it for 10, and I was like, thank you.
Yeah. Banger, by the way. So this phase is 4 crystals and then big crystal. Like the tentacles and the little crystals are like just kind of frail enough that I don't need to damage glitch it, but then we'll see more of our usual shenanigans once we get to the big one.
I call this the almond phase because my friend, the first time I played this, said that the part that the crystal comes out of looks like one giant almond, and I can't unsee it anymore.
At a certain point, the crystals start moving around, so I want to try to be as quick as I can, like that, before they go out of reach and I have to chase them. Another thing I didn't really touch on is that if you're using skills or if you're in like a skill animation, you tend to not really take knockback, and you also take reduced damage depending on how strong the skill is.
Yeah, it's kind of actually really big for if you spam it, you're actually able to, kind of boost your way through things that would otherwise stagger you or do a lot of damage.
So yeah, as powerful as like Flash Guard and Flash Move are, like that's almost just as good. All right, so this guy did not fly away immediately, which makes me happy. Could still do it. What if I did just something like this right now? Dang, didn't die. Come on, buddy.
It is worth noting that time is when the credits start, and we'll give you the signal for that.
Okay, there we go. Okay, there it is.
And there we go.
Very nice.
Just watch this while I get a drink of water. Let's see, where is Luminous today? I can't see her. Sometimes she gets stuck in this scene.
Yeah, it tends to be if you have characters who aren't supposed to actually be there, they just kind of stand there in an idle pose in very weird positions. It's really funny.
You can actually, you can fast forward and skip this, but I'm watching it for the hell of it. Okay. Yeah, I talked to 3 guys, then warp somewhere, 3 cutscene skips, and that's time. So I might have thrown sub 120.
There's Hummel.
I might have thrown sub 120 by watching that cutscene. See what happens. All right, over here. 1, 2, 3, time.
Nice, you got it. Let's go.
Let's go. Very good. You got
clutched it.
really good damage damage glitches on several of the bosses.
All right. Okay, so I know we met any percent a while ago, so I'll just transition to that really quick and do my shoutouts afterwards. Okay, so I want to change my buttons before I do that, and
We'll also wait for the timer to reset as well.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
that a little bit of time.
did not pay attention there.
I will say though, if you haven't played this game, highly recommend it, and also the series in general. But this is the one I started off with, so like we said, you can start with any of the numbers, even if this series has a weird way of counting to 10. I definitely recommend
watch the
this as a
Sesame Street.
starter.
Yeah, are we ready on starting the timer?
I think they're still resetting it.
Right. Okay, good. All right. Start any percent in 3, 2, 1, begin. So this is effectively a credits warp category. I just want to say, I want to mention real quick that we did find a way to get to the credits in about 5 minutes, kind of recently actually, but it's pretty much turbo only. And when I say that, I mean you have to press the button way faster than any turbo controller I've ever seen will go. I think the people who are messing are using auto hotkey or something. So we haven't really figured out what to do about it. But I'll be showing what I'm used to, which is kind of similar to the first 10 minutes of the All Story Bosses run. Basically, we use that raid end trick to trigger the credits instead of triggering the cutscene that I did.
Also, welcome back to the boat.
Yes, I'm fudging it up a little bit more than I was last time, but made it in at 53. That's fine.
Yeah, so where we're at with this category is it's recently gotten to sub 11 minutes. Bram, here I believe you have 10:58.
10:55.
10:55, okay.
Good.
And the record is held by VIII, who's also been he's one of the more recent additions to the East community, and he has utterly shattered several of the top records of 8, 9, and he was also a top contender in 10 for a brief period.
Yeah, so yeah, this boss is pretty much the same. So I guess I'll give the warning a little bit ahead of time. Is about 2 minutes into the run is a lock-in moment. It's maybe the hardest thing that I can think of to do in this game is I have to do a solo switch cancel hover as Adol. I don't have Sahad with me, who is a lot easier to do this with. But yeah, basically, we've already talked about switch canceling. That was about, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes into the all story bosses run where we talked about that. And then we talked about forced cutscene. That was like 10 minutes or something into the run. So just, if you're watching this on YouTube or something, you can like go back and refresh your memory about it. But yeah, I gotta lock in real quick.
Yep. We're just gonna get out of the arena, get additional height, stack cutscenes, and we're gonna have some shenanigans.
Okay. Nice.
It's the quietest we've been for Sunshine Coastline.
Nice. Not even hard.
Nice, let's go.
Oh, I didn't change my control deck.
Adol did more talking there than he did in the entire rest of the run.
Okay, so interestingly, the very first cutscene that shows up in the entrance of Castaway Village is actually not a cutscene at all. It's a prompt to warp to the epilogue area of the game. So right up this hill is it's about right here is the trigger to start the credits, but it's not active. So I basically got to get up to the first raid and activate it. So I got to do this again. And yeah, then typical tutorial stuff comes up next. So yeah, the funny thing is like, because you only have to do a little bit of the game here, this would be like a super accessible, beginner-friendly run, but except for that one hover is so freaking hard.
Yeah, this is like surprisingly optimized. There's a lot of volatility to any percent for just a few different reasons.
Yeah.
But because of how short it is, it's just been pushed down more and more over time.
Okay, so in the next room, there's the tutorial room. I actually do not need anything from here, so I'm just gonna skip the entire thing. Whereas earlier I had to grab the sword. So yeah, pretty easy, just fly, I guess. Casually just fly. And then coming up is the giant bat again. I think we can sneak in like 2 donations maybe.
Awesome, thank you.
Still reading those.
Sure, we have a $25 donation from Frilly Lily who says, let's extend AGDQ. Got to get the 100% run of Super Sheffy World. Thank you very much. And yes, as an update there, we are at $6,403 out of $30,000 to make that happen. So folks, we're getting there, but we're running out of time. So get those donations in.
Yeah, let's get the donations in. Maybe one more.
Sure. We also have a $500 donation from Hunger F3, who leaves no comment, but thank you so much for your generosity to benefit Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody, for donating. It's been real awesome seeing all the love for this series. I pushed for a long time to try and get these games into this event, and this being, I think, the second time that it's been in this, an East game's been in this event. It just makes me really happy to, see all the support.
Yeah, hopefully not the last two.
While we fight Avocado, can I read one more?
I just want to bring up real quick. I think it might be slightly faster to fly out of this boss room in this category, but it's hard. Like he lags.
Really difficult.
He lags the screen a lot, and you drop really easily. Now you can read stuff.
Thank you. I just wanted to let you know we have a $50 donation from the Sound Defense who says, "Man, Bramhall cleared that game with ease."
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll show myself out. That's a comment. I would never apologize for that pun.
I was so close to saying, at the beginning of the run, you said something was easy, and I was going to make the joke. Now I don't have to. So.
Somebody always does.
Someone always does, and I don't want to be just one of the...
A little bit too easy, if you ask me.
Look, nobody's made too many wisecracks. So.
Oh, man.
That was physically painful.
I had... there's a Japanese runner who doesn't run these games, but his name is Y''S, and they pronounce it Wise. And it's just, people keep tagging me every time he comes up on like a marathon. Like, he doesn't even run these games.
Oh my lord. Okay, so unlike the story bosses run you saw, I don't need to go back to town here and go fishing anymore. Instead, I'm gonna go straight to the boss here. Yeah. So yeah, if I had escaped the Avocado fight instead of fighting him, I would have. This would have triggered on room entry. Would have been a little bit faster, and then there would have been more cutscenes later that wouldn't have shown up. But yeah, again, for just consistency. I chose to not do the really hard trick. Okay, so we're gonna climb with the vines again. I actually do not need Tornado Sword this time. I guess you'll see another little skip that we didn't get to see in the other run where you have to knock down this log, but no, you don't actually. Jump up these here. I do not need to skip over the raid trigger because I want to trigger the raid right away. Actually, let's have a little bit of fun.
Yes.
You'll see what that does in a second.
Chat, let's get some crab emotes in chat for our friend Crab.
Crab people, crab people. This way.
This is normal, by the way. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, totally. Also, this is normal. Oh, we're not gonna talk to Kiergaard first. Oh, yeah, talk to Kiergaard. You have to talk to Kiergaard before you do any raids. I don't know, I don't remember why. Sento Kaista.
Ikuzo.
All right, get ready. Prepare your ears.
That's the best way we can word that, is prepare your ears.
Where is he?
My ears are so prepared right now and nothing's happening.
Yeah. I mean, he might not show up until... Does he show up until the second wave? Because I don't get any...
I thought he did.
You don't get any Castaways effects until the second wave, because that's a thing. But I don't know about the parrot.
I thought he still showed up.
I think he does too. I think he just got unlucky. So who is your favorite bird from across the E series? Because actually, there's a couple to choose from.
Obviously, Sieg from East vs. Trails.
This way, actually. Because there's Paro in this game. There's Shoop. There he is. I have no idea why he says this stuff, by the way. It doesn't make any gameplay difference whether Dogi Swat is going smooth or going bad.
Nah, it's just to like give you like in-game lore of how it's going. Again, it doesn't matter if what he says.
That's over here. So yeah, there's Pepero, there's Fugil, there's the Black Market guy from East 9 is a bird, I think. I don't remember if he had a name or not. There's a bird boss. There's a bird boss in each 7 who's terrible. We're also about to see if you look at the top left corner, Dogi's about to show up.
Top right.
Or top right, yeah, top right. That's what I meant. Oh my god. So this actually loses time. That's why I had it shut off in the run. Like, you have to wait for all those people to stop talking before it gets to the next wave. I'm gonna let Dogi do his thing. See ya. Octopus next. He's gonna come up again too. Hopefully he comes up at a better time. Dogi can save you a crap load of time in this raid, if he's placed correctly. And yeah, because I didn't upgrade Adol's weapon, I'm using Sahad to kill these guys, even though they're weak to Adol's weapon. It's a little bit slower, but kind of like Adol just doesn't do enough damage. Come on, buddy. He gets stuck running.
Yeah, he was just stuck in that corner.
Shoutouts to oh, he's coming. I actually can't remember that. Coda and Raven, is that their names? Shout out to them. Good puppers. Oh, wait. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, he like took forever to die for some reason. I'm gonna shut this off because it actually wastes a ton of time. Especially like right at the end. Okay, get ready on time, by the way. This one. 1, 2, 3, time.
Sub 12.
Nice.
Especially with the added voice line.
And that's the game. There you go.
Yeah, that's the game. All right. I think we shouted out like during the run, like pretty much all the relevant individuals. Like we got Jado, we got JP, we got X-Sheik, who was on the GP restream.
Frozer donated. After 5.
After 5, yeah.
One of the like first people to present this game in a marathon.
Right.
But yeah, if you're at all interested in running any of these games, we do have a community Discord that you can access from basically any of the speedrun.com pages. Same thing with like other Falcom games. We have a Trails Discord as well for anyone showing up interested in that. But yeah, this is a lot of work from a lot of people. Definitely shout outs to Jado. Like, again, we've been chatting about plenty.
And thanks a lot to Games Done Quick for having me up here. It's been an honor. This is actually my favorite speedrun category to run out of all of them that I do. So, and it means a lot to have a lot of people donate for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Not to get too much into my personal life, but my family did recently receive some very relevant news. So all your donations mean a lot to me personally, as well as everybody else. So yeah, thanks again. And what's next game? Enjoy the next game. Spyro.
Yeah,
Enjoy Spyro.
Thank you, everybody.